Fantastic rally in the mid-cap space as well. Imami, for instance, up 9%. Allahabad Bank is up 6-7%. Andhra Bank up 6%. A lot of the mid-cap banks have suddenly started spiking up as well. And that's the Nifty. We are indeed at the highest point of the rally. Varun Goyal joins in with a perspective as well. Afternoon, Varun, and what a fantastic afternoon of trade it is. So what's the call from here on? Stay invested in longs, take some money off, or how would you call these markets?
I think as far as the markets are concerned, we are trading close to 16 times FY11 earnings. You would expect from a full new financial year point of view to have around 15 to 20% returns from overall market perspective. Year end we see markets somewhere close to 20 to 21,000. I think it's difficult to take a very short-term call. I think near term we are going to have Q4 earnings beginning next week. So that should be a big determinant of short-term directions. But I think from a long-term point of view, I think the markets are trading at reasonable valuations.
Interesting afternoon, but the question is...
It is anywhere between 14 to 17 times, depending on your earnings per share objective on a one-year forward basis. Then I think you can make an equally respectable case for this market to go up on fundamentals. And I think this is more a fundamental-driven rally, because yesterday you saw that, or rather on Thursday, that domestic institutional investors on the first day of the financial year put in $100 million. That's a statement that the DIIs are ready to come in and pump in money, and this is not even traditionally the strongest quarter for them. So things could be turning around. I mean, I'm not sure how much of life exists on the other side of 5,400. We've been arguing 5,300 over the last few days, because options has been indicating about 52 to 5,400 for the last many days. But it's definitely something to take note of, that the market is approaching 5,400, and now you probably get the sense, if earnings deliver, it probably has the legs to even take out 55, 5,600. Who knows? 200 points is not that far away if the earnings season delivers this April.
Well, since you brought up earnings, let's ask Varun what he thinks. Varun, what are you expecting from Infosys a couple of days down the line?
I think as far as the sector is concerned, we are continuing to be very positive on the whole space. I think around 15% volume growth with stable to flat pricing is something that is built in the price. I think going forward we are going to see a slight increase in price also, so the company should be able to deliver at least 20% earning growth going forward. I think last month we had this big negative in terms of the sharp appreciation of rupee. I think if one were to take a call in terms of the kind of current account deficit that India is running at this point of time, it is around 3.5%. So I would say that I would not expect a very sharp appreciation in rupee from a 6 month to 12 month perspective. And I think other than that, there are no issues or concerns in the IT space.
5370 is still holding on the Nifty, and the auto index is up by nearly about 2%. There's been a slew of auto sales numbers that have come out. We'll get Varun's thoughts on it in just a bit. Let's get across to Nitin Arora first and get a sense of what he's made of all the monthly sales numbers that have poured in over the last few days. Nitin, good afternoon to you.
Very good afternoon to you, Rahul. We have seen that the March sales, again, we ended this year with a strong March sales, and even if you look at the sales across the segments, rather have shown good amount of uptake, and the two-wheelers have...
We prefer Bajaj over Hero Honda in two-wheelers, because Bajaj Auto going forward, the triggers are more. The growth in Bajaj is higher because of the lower base last year, and volume picked up in last 3-4 months. And going forward, we see that the volume growth in export market for Bajaj is going to be a positive. That would support the better earnings for Bajaj, better earnings growth for Bajaj than Hero Honda, and so we are in favor of Bajaj rather than Hero Honda.
Okay, that's an analyst perspective to add to what Maruti had to tell us a little earlier in the day as well. Varun, your own reading on the auto sector right now, and are there any stocks that you're recommending on fundamentals or on the basis of the monthly sales numbers that you saw?
Well, I think the monthly numbers have been very strong despite the hike in excise duty and all that. I think the numbers are going to sustain at these kind of levels. We like the two-wheeler space much more than the four-wheeler and the commercial segment, for the simple fact that more than 60% of four-wheelers and commercial vehicles are financed in some form or the other, and we would expect interest rates to be increased by more than 100 basis points in next 6 to 12 months. So that I think could be a slight negative in terms of demand. But I think as far as the two-wheeler segment is concerned, it continues to show robust growth, and you would expect most of the companies in that space to have earnings growth of 20 to 25% on a year-on-year basis.
While we're talking autos, Ashram Motors done fairly well as far as their March sales are concerned. Stocks reacting quite expectedly. On a base of about 2,100, same period last year, they've done about 3,800 now. So it seems to be a good set of numbers to go with for the time being. Varun, quick thoughts on Bharti Airtel. 4.5, no, almost 5% up on the stock. 316. What would you do with it?
Well, I think as far as telecom stocks are concerned, clearly we would avoid this sector as a whole. I think the kind of price wars that we are seeing at this point of time, it is almost impossible for companies to make a healthy amount of profit in next 4 to 5 quarters. I think for Bharti, the acquisition that they've done in Africa is clearly a positive, but I think in terms of numbers, it will take almost a year for them to show any operational synergies out of that. So I think till the time some M&A activity happens and this pricing power returns to that sector, we would stay away from the space.
Okay, let's focus on the listing of the day as well. Pradeep, overseas on an issue price of 110 rupees, the stock's been hammered.
We spoke of NMDC, Varun. What about something like a SAIL or a TISCO? Steel players have been going through the roof as well on the expectation that they will pass on this price hike to their end consumers.
So I think leaving steel, we are very cautious on all other commodities. It is difficult to justify the prices based on supply and demand scenario in the kind of inventory levels that are there all across the world. I think as far as steel is concerned, we've seen a very robust revival in demand. Especially in India, we've seen a very strong set of demand coming from automobiles, consumer durables, and now I think the infrastructure and capex space will also catch up. So we are quite positive on domestic steel companies. I think around $80 to $90 per ton is the kind of price hike that one would expect going forward. That would more or less compensate for the hike in iron ore and coal prices. So I don't think there should be a decline in margins because of that. And I think looking at the demand scenario, we should be very comfortably see a 20 to 30% kind of growth as far as domestic demand is concerned. And as far as the European demand is concerned, I think with the concerns on Greece and Portugal and all those big countries subsiding, and the kind of demand that we're seeing in that part of the world also, I think things look good for the steel companies at this point of time.
Would you buy anything in healthcare at this point, Varun?
I think Rahul, we had a very big movement as far as all pharmaceutical and healthcare space is concerned in the last few months. I think while it was fundamentally positive, the kind of legislation that we saw in US on the healthcare side, but I think the only beneficiaries of that act are going to be Indian companies which are very aggressively into the generic and CRAMS space. I think the excitement as far as new drug discovery and new molecule entity space is probably overdone, and I would be really cautious on that space.
In fact, Biocon was one of the stocks in news earlier this morning with respect to one of the Cuban subsidiaries. Stocks are still holding up by 3% at 305 rupees. Here's more from Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw.
To kind of bring in financial viability for the Cuban joint venture was proving to be very difficult. So by Biocon taking it over, I think we are able to then bring financial, logic into the whole operation, because as you know, we are developing biosimilars for which we need expansion. And this facility actually allows us to expand that need.
Varun, haven't got a chance to speak about banks. A lot of them are very strong, like an ICICI from the frontline space. But even the mid-caps like Andhra, I'm looking at Allahabad, up 6 to 7%. What's a good buying idea right now in this space?
I think as far as the banking space is concerned, I think the credit growth this year has been quite subdued at around 16-17%. I think next year we should be able to see a credit growth of the order of around 25%. I think infrastructure demand is going to be a big driver of that credit growth. Last year we saw a kind of muted dispersal. Although the loans were approved, there were not much dispersals that were happening. I think that situation should correct. I think the key, to selecting good stocks in that space is to look at the asset quality and the balance sheet. I think a lot of PSU banks, especially the bigger PSU banks, are going to have some of the restructured assets going into NPLs. Although the RBI has relaxed those norms, but I think still there could be some disappointments on that side. Now, I think as far as the small PSU bank space is concerned, I think we have seen this whole cycle with the arrival of private sector banks. The PSU banks began catching up. We saw that with SBI, and then the mid-cap banks like Union and Bank of Baroda, they kind of moved to net banking, improved efficiency and all that. I think now it's the turn, we are going further down, now the turn of even the smaller banks to become more efficient. And I think some of those banks are available at very exciting valuations, 18 to 20% ROE for one-time book. I think there is some value in that space also.
All right, Varun, we'll leave it at that for this afternoon. Good speaking with you as always. Thanks so much for joining in. Varun Goel there from KC Securities with his thoughts on the markets. Real estate, banks, auto, metals, oil and gas. Between these 5 indices, they've gone up anywhere between 2 and 3%. A very broad-based secular move for the market today on a 5:1 advanced decline ratio. There is no fault in this market.